Happy New Year one more time. It's January 2nd, and this is Guided by Faith. I am your host, Jay Holland. Even if this isn't January 2nd, Happy New Year. If you're listening to this and you are part of my youth group, you are probably prepping to go on our winter retreat. And I pray that we have an awesome time together. And I'm proud of you for engaging even before we go in your walk with Jesus. We're finishing out. This is the last episode we're going to do, at least for some time, that is a devotion from my new book that came out, Renewed, the 365-Day Christian Gratitude Journal. If these have been a blessing to you, I encourage you, pick up a copy. It's like $14.99. And if you don't have that much money, you can get a Kindle version, which is much, much cheaper. But it's on Amazon.com. Just type in Renewed Journal, Jay Holland, and it will come up. Or click the link in the show notes. Let's jump into the last devotion of this week. And this is one that, as I was reading and thinking through, really made me reflect quite a bit. So let's get into it. Psalm 23, verse 4. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. I want to read that one more time. Psalm 23, verse 4. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. The question is, what fear are you facing that feels like a deep valley? What fear are you facing that feels like a deep valley? And how does remembering God's presence change how you walk through it? Are you facing any fears today? I have to say that in the moment, I don't have any particular fears that are racking me right now, but I've walked through some real fear seasons. I remember being younger and just that feeling of being left out, the fear that I'm going to be exposed and made fun of, the fear that I'm not going to be enough, that I'm going to give it my best and that my best is going to fall short and I'm going to be exposed and humiliated. Then, the fear that somebody that I love is going to die. Then the fear that, my savings will be gone, and on and on and on. Fear, fear, fear. So I've lived long enough that what I can tell you is many of the fears that I just shared have actually come true. I've given it my best and it not been enough. I've been, exposed in front of people and humiliated and made fun of in sports and in other areas of life. I've had people that I love die multiple times. I've had it happen to where all of my savings is gone and there's barely any money left in the bank, not enough to pay the actual bills that I have. So what's interesting is in my life at this point, I've lived in anticipation fear, and then I've walked through many of the actual causes of my fear. And what I can tell you is that the anticipation fear never made the event any easier. Me worrying, me thinking that this thing might happen or that thing might happen, never made any one of the actual events easier when it came. What it did was rob me of the joy of the times that I was in. And so I learned that God provides when I was in the event, as hard as it was or as difficult as it was, Jesus was with me. He was walking with me through the valley of the shadow of death. And so I learned that I have the presence of God in the worst of the worst situations. So what's really crazy is God gives you grace when you're in the moment, but a lot of times he doesn't give you that hypothetical grace. Meaning if you're thinking about it, if you're imagining things that could go wrong, you're just terrified because God hasn't given you the grace for them. He doesn't give you the grace until you're actually in the event. But when you're in the event, he is with you. He is there and he walks through that event with you. So at this time in my life, there are fears that I have, but I've learned to not let the fears have control because most of the things that I've ever been afraid of have not happened. But some of the things I've been afraid of, which are horrible things, they have happened. And I've learned that God has walked with me through those things. And so More and more in my life, I'm learning I don't have to be afraid, because most of that stuff is not going to happen. And even the ones that do, there's life on the other side. There is hope on the other side. There's relationship on the other side. And because I belong to Jesus, and the hard things like the deaths that I've experienced have been people that belong to Jesus, I know that there's more life to come than the life that's been lost. And so that has been a real perspective changer for me. I don't know if you're a person that lives with a lot of anxiety or a lot of fear, but I want to encourage you, if you are, Jesus is with you. He's with you now, and you can give those fears and anxieties to him. And some of the things you're afraid of might happen. Many of them won't. Some of them might. And when those things do, he will be with you. He will walk with you through the valley of the shadow of death. He will not leave you or forsake you. So fear does not get to be in the driver's seat. Faith gets to be in the driver's seat. Fear is something we just run through when the time comes. Jesus says, fear not. God says, fear not over and over again in the Bible, because he knows it's a natural human inclination. But he tells you fear not because he is with you and he is for you. And you need to remember that with all that you're worth as you walk through 2026. That's it for this week. I hope you've enjoyed being in the Renewed Gratitude Journal. If you have, you might think about getting a copy for yourself to walk through the rest of the year. That time of intentional gratitude will be huge in your life. You can find a link in the show notes or go to Amazon.com, type in Renewed Journal, Jay Holland, and you'll find it. That's it for this week. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we will jump back in next week. Talk to you soon.